comics fans!
Welcome to Just Comics!
Welcome.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Seth, and today we have Daredevil and Deadpool work together a little bit to bring in Typhoid Mary, kind of, sort of.
And please remember that we are a new channel, so if you could please like, comment, and subscribe, and stay till to the end to watch some awesome outtakes, because you have no idea in the first 2 minutes of this recording how many we've already got.
Listeners, if one of us says Daredevil, we mean Deadpool, or Deadpool, we mean Daredevil, please forgive us. We have ADHD. This is very hard. In San Francisco, in the Dead Hut, where home of one Deadpool and one blind Al.
Yeah, and Deadpool says he's got to go on a mission to New York.
Yes, and meanwhile, there's some stuff going on with a bunch of mobsters in New York and a doctor in New York.
And Daredevil shows up.
As they seem to have lost a patient, a certain very specific patient with multiple personality issues.
Daredevil actually does say it's Typhoid Mary. He has some reminiscing.
Yes.
And then he's also noticing some deaths.
Just a few. Not as bad as it could be. Mostly men, a couple women. Oh, and look, it's Deadpool with a rocket launcher, and he just blew up a cab because the cabbie overcharged him.
And this becomes kind of a whole thing where he gets the crowd involved.
Yes, he gets the crowd involved, and of course, New Yorkers hate cabbies, apparently. So, they're all willing to let him deal out justice for them.
And what kind of justice does he give out, Seth?
Noogies!
All right, so then we actually do cut over to Typhoid Mary, and she's slicing and dicing a few more people.
Now, for those who are not familiar with Typhoid Mary, she has three personalities. There's Mary Walker, who is a sweet young lady with absolutely no mental issues whatsoever and no powers. Then there's Typhoid Mary, who has some minor mind control, a bit of pyrokinesis, and a bit of telekinesis. And then there's Bloody Mary, who's just outright pyrokinetic, telekinetic, and she will control you, mostly men. Fortunately, Bloody Mary and Mary seem to have disappeared.
Well, not fortunate for some of these people.
No.
Meanwhile, at the offices of Sharp, Nelson, and Murdoch.
Hey, that's those two of those names sound really familiar.
Yeah. Apparently Sharp is Foggy's mom. And there's an annoying person here trying to deliver a balloongram.
Yeah, it's just a balloonigram. It's harmless, right?
I mean, it was until Matt Murdock shows up.
And he sees with his weird radar vision that there's something going on with the balloon man. He seems to be a certain mercenary, maybe.
Maybe. All we really see is that he grabs Foggy and jumps out the window.
Yes, exit stage right.
And then it turns into Deadpool.
Oh no! And yes, Deadpool is holding Foggy hostage because everyone knows that Foggy is Daredevil's friend, and everyone knows the best way to get to Daredevil is to get to Foggy, apparently.
Daredevil and Deadpool reluctantly team up to try and stop Mary.
Yes, that's the whole reason why Deadpool did that, was to talk to him. And Deadpool's a very reasonable fellow. He wasn't going to hurt Foggy. He just wanted to have a chat with Daredevil.
Deadpool is a very reasonable fellow.
Yes.
Are words I've never heard before.
He's very reasonable.
If you insist.
He didn't kill the cab driver, and he only kidnapped Foggy because he wanted to ask a favor of Daredevil. Reasonable.
Okay. We're going to go with that. Deadpool, predictably, annoys the crap out of Daredevil. So they split up when they go to try and find Mary. Deadpool actually runs into Mary.
Yes. And now Deadpool and Mary kind of have a nice little friendship going. They're not, lovers or anything, just friends. Daredevil is intimately familiar with Mary. When I say intimately familiar, I mean intimately biblically familiar. But, without the marriage part. So sinfully biblically familiar.
So she stabs Deadpool.
Yes.
And then Daredevil comes in.
And, of course, Daredevil is very much concerned because his new partner just got stabbed. He wants to take him to a hospital. And Daredevil is like, oh, no, I'm fine. Healing factor. All good. So now the mobsters have mustered up a force because they're going to make a stand against Mary. Or not a stand, so much as a sit. So much as a lie in wait because they're tired of her killing them.
I mean, that sounds reasonable. I'd be pretty tired of someone going around killing my people.
Unfortunately, that does mean that they're painting a huge target on them, so everyone knows where they are. And obviously Mary can figure out where they're going, then Daredevil and Deadpool also can know where Mary's going.
That can come in handy.
Yes, and if Mary's on a vendetta against the mob, best way to get to the mob is to go where she's going.
So Daredevil and Deadpool, they show up where these mafia guys are hanging out.
Yes.
And they're basically trying to take them out in a non-lethal way.
Well, Daredevil is trying to take them out in a non-lethal way and trying to berate Deadpool into taking them out in a non-lethal way. But Deadpool, this version of Deadpool, is not yet using rubber bullets. But there's a slight problem with the mob bosses. They are so paranoid they locked themselves into a closet and they didn't post any guards.
And so Mary finds them.
Oh, she finds them. And Daredevil realizes it.
And Deadpool kind of mentions that he's going to help Mary kill Daredevil.
Well, he mentions that Daredevil was the kind of person that he'd want to kill.
But anyway, he throws a sword and barely misses Daredevil.
And Daredevil's like, he's trying to kill me? And he goes, oh, okay. But still, are you crazy? And so then, Daredevil's like, I'm going to go and try to stop Mary. You take care of the rest of these guys. And Daredevil's like, yeah, you got it. So, anybody want to play hot potato? With, a grenade.
Mary had a plan. She knew Daredevil was going to be the first one to step in. She set up the audio system to mess with his sonic abilities there for a little bit.
Yes. Now, part of Mary's thing is that apparently she can make herself completely and totally blind to Matt's senses. Like he can't know exactly where she is. Like he can smell her sometimes, but like if she wants to, she can mask herself. And this is one of those cases where she masks herself because she's standing right in front of him. And of course, knowing who he is and what he is and his powers and weaknesses, yeah. Yes, Deadpool shows up and clocks Daredevil in the face, gives him a dislocated jaw.
And he's like, why are you working with Mary?
So anyway, it looks like Deadpool has betrayed Daredevil and is now complicit to Mary kicking the crap out of Daredevil.
So Deadpool does a thing here where he gets them talking about a brothel on the east side.
Yes, about a certain brothel where a certain young man wearing a ski mask accidentally shoved a young woman out of the third-story window. And in the consequences of this, she had a psychotic break and became Typhoid Mary.
And Daredevil just has this realization that it was Mary that got knocked out the window. He didn't know that before. He thought he was a murderer. So now he gets this cathartic moment where he gets to realize he's not a murderer and that Mary needs to take responsibility for her own actions.
Yeah, so she's trying to make Daredevil take responsibility, but he's not the one who made her pull the trigger. She did it herself, even though she's blaming him.
So Mary kind of has a breakthrough, but through this realization, she gets taken out. And Deadpool's kind of looking at Daredevil like, hey, we're cool now, right?
Yes, this whole thing, we find out this whole plot was all contrived by Deadpool as a sort of therapy, advanced therapy for Mary, because he felt that the guys in the psychiatric ward just weren't helping her. And that exposure therapy would work way better. He just didn't think that she would be exposing herself to as many people as she exposed herself to. And by exposed herself to, I mean murdered.
Yeah, he definitely didn't plan for that and actually was not down for that.
No. And Daredevil is relieved a little bit. He feels a bit lighter on his feet now that he knows that he's not responsible for killing a young woman. But back home with the Dead Hut, Deadpool, aka Wade Wilson, meets back up with Blind Allen. She asks how things went. And Wade's like, yeah, everything went really well. And oh, here's a gift. It's New York flank steak. And of course, Al's got like a freezer full of meat. She doesn't know why she'd need it. So Wade's like, yeah, just hold it next to you. And here's your other present. It's Seeing Eye Dog. Attacks her because of the steak.
A dog that Foggy lost in a poker tournament with Weasel.
Hey fans, it's time for
Comic Book Reviews.
Okay, so for the story, I gotta say I'm not the biggest Deadpool in the comic book world kind of fan. I enjoy the movies. I think things that work well in movies don't necessarily translate well to what you're reading. It just kind of came across a little annoying. So I'm gonna only give the story 2.5 stars. It was gonna be 2, but I bumped it up an extra half because the ending, where Deadpool actually is orchestrating this thing for this therapy session, was actually kind of a nice little twist. I actually really enjoyed that. That was by far, in my opinion, the best part of this story. On the art is actually really quite well done. It kind of follows in the vein of some of the artists like Joe Mad and things like that, where they kind of want to exaggerate things in almost an anime fashion, but kind of mix it with the American art. So I'm going to give the art 4 stars. As far as whether or not this is a must read, in case you couldn't guess, no, it's not a must read. Even if you enjoy Deadpool, you may find the story entertaining, but is this something that is a must read? Like, is like, oh my god, like of like the best books of all time, you must read this in that kind of context? No, absolutely not. Seth, what about you?
Hey, Steve. So, now, as I mentioned before, I am a Spider-Man fan. One of the biggest team-ups is Spider-Man and Daredevil, and because of that, I've grown to actually enjoy the Daredevil character. And Deadpool is mega fun. So I'm going to give it 3.5 stars. The half stars because of a part that Steve wouldn't let me review, but it enjoys a team up with Foggy and Weasel working themselves through many alcohols, and Foggy eventually losing a dog in a game of cards. Um, and also, of course, the addition of Typhoid Mary. Now, I find that interesting. A character with multiple personalities, and that each one can control powers differently, or at all, and there's one that can't. I like that kind of concept. And I think she's a neat character, deranged, but also neat. So that's that. Art wise, love the art. It's got that, I don't know, it's just that 90s comic book style. I mean, it's 97, but still, it's got that comic book style that you grew up with. It's gritty. There's blood. There's not too much blood. I'm gonna give it 4 stars, as well. My compatriot, my coworker, my colleague, my
Co-host.
co-host. Thank you, my buddy, my pal, my friend, my best friend.
And you wonder why I have to edit you.
Shut up. Yes, so 4 stars. And as far as this is a must read or not, I hate to say it, but no. And I did buy it. I bought it from eBay, and I'm gonna hold on to it forever. But unless you're gonna explore this whole storyline where Deadpool and Typhoid Mary team up for time, nah, don't worry about it.
All right, and then on that comes to a close to yet another Just Comics video.
Yes, put a big old stamp on it because it's finished. Gold star sticker, the 100, the thing and stuff.
I mean, it's not our 100th video, Seth.
It's not. No, you know, the 100, the line under the red.
Oh,
You get 100 on a test.
yes, 100% done.
100% done. Yes, there we go. Perfect.
You want to re-say that?
No, not at all.
Okay, just checking. All right, and so then on that note, guys, we'll see you in the next video.
Yes, our next video of Just Comics. Ta-da! Meanwhile, Foggy and Weasel are becoming best friends.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip all of that.
But it was funny. Also, Foggy gets really
I
wasted.
literally skipped it when I read it, but
You suck. You ruined some really good stuff.
I,
Meanwhile, there was stuff going on that Steve did not like that I enjoyed.
so well, I'm editing the video.
Fine.
All right, do your opening.
Yes, welcome to Just Comics.
What's my half? That was my half.
Oh shit, that's right.